T-Bird fans came to training camp this September. They may have seen Thomas Milic's name on one of the rosters for the training camp scrimmages because there was the odd opportunity that he may return for his 20-year-old season. I think that has kind of gone out the window right now. It's sailed away as he's off to a terrific start in his pro career, playing in the ECHL with the Norfolk Admirals. But we wanted to give the fans some closure, a Christmas gift, if you will. So we brought Thomas in to talk about how things are going, reminisce a little bit about that run last year. Thomas, good to see your smiling face again.
No, absolutely. It's great to be back.
So let's quickly update us on how things are going for you in your first year as a professional, primarily playing in the ECHL, and you've had a couple of games in the AHL with the Manitoba Moose as well. What has that transition been like for you?
The entire transition has been incredible so far. Obviously the jump to pro hockey is a pretty big one, but it's interesting. I feel like every new place that I go and every new team that I play on, I seem to have some teammates that I've played with in the past, guys I've played against on other teams. And, it really makes me realize how small the hockey world is.
And what's it like being now on the East Coast, having, played with Seattle here on the West Coast, being from the lower mainland of British Columbia, now playing on the East Coast and playing a lot of games, through up and down the East Coast as well?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really had the chance to spend a lot of time out here in the East Coast, especially in the States here, but, I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. I really enjoy playing in new cities, seeing new towns, and, just seeing how life operates in different parts of the world. And, here specifically in Norfolk, they have us all set up in Virginia Beach within these houses here. So it's not a bad setup. We're right on the beach. I get to, see sunrises instead of sunsets on the West Coast. And, it's overall a really great experience.
Well, I said your name was on that sheet for training camp, but what was your thought process about whether you would or not come back for a final year in the Western Hockey League? You got drafted this summer by the Winnipeg Jets, and, the talk right as you were drafted by, I think their, director of player personnel was like, no, we want him to play professionally. Was that your mindset that you were going to be there and not come back for another year?
Yeah, no, that's always been my goal, at least. I think for a while it was a little up in the air, wasn't really sure what was going to happen, but, in the back of my mind, my goal has always been to play professional hockey. And, I think given with being drafted by the Jets and, how the situation panned out, I think I have a really incredible opportunity here. And, the way it's worked out so far, I'm really happy with the transition I've made to pro hockey.
I've had the chance over the last couple of months to talk to a lot of former T-Birds from years gone by, many of them drafted in the NHL, and they talk about their draft moment. You were not at the draft. In fact, you weren't even paying attention essentially to the draft. You were at the rink. You had to have players in the rink, or, I guess you were out there with some young guys and they had to kind of bang on the glass to get your attention. You kind of knew something was up though, right?
Yeah, no, that was a pretty unique experience as far as, finding out you're getting drafted goes. But how it ended up working out is I was on the ice, actually, just started practice, and how it works in my summer training area, the gym is upstairs and has windows that overlook the ice surface. So a younger group of kids was watching the TV in the gym and I guess saw my name. So they all started banging on the glass. They're cheering me on, giving me thumbs up. So, I figured something was good there. And, I actually brought my phone to the bench during practice just in case something happened. And I'd missed calls from, agents, GMs, everyone. So I think it was a pretty good reason to not pick up those calls though.
Well, I think that's kind of typical Thomas Milic. You're just so focused. If you got drafted or if you didn't get drafted, you were going to still focus on the process.
Absolutely. That's always been my goal. And, even now that I'm here, at pro hockey, it's nowhere near the end of my career here. So, I'm just focused on one day at a time, getting better. And, I'm so far that mindset of trusting the process has continued to help me get to the next level. And, I truly believe if I stick with it, it'll continue to help me out.
After last season, I did a bit of a deep dive statistically and where you stood as far as Thunderbird goaltenders. And I think, you didn't have the benefit of playing a full 4 seasons with Seattle. The pandemic shortened one of your years. You only played 9 games and you left to go play at the U18. But the last 2 years were phenomenal. even with playing fewer games than some of your contemporaries or some of the guys who came before you, you rank right up there in so many of the statistical categories and one of the best goaltenders in Thunderbird's franchise history. But, the last 2 years, the run to the playoffs, just playing, 91 regular season games, but 44 playoff games. I don't think that's a number of starts in the postseason that'll ever be matched by a T-Bird goaltender. Is that something that you can hang your hat on?
No, absolutely. I think that really speaks to, the special group that we had the last 3 years while I was there. And, it's hard to believe that, those numbers are so close between regular season games and postseason games. But, it truly felt like I was there for, the last 5 straight years. As soon as I was drafted from 15, I, was welcomed there so much. And every time I'd get called up, it felt right at home. And, Seattle's going to be a place where I call home forever, I think.
Let me ask you about a moment as you played so far 4 games with Manitoba. One of those games, I think you came in relief against Laval, and there was a power play for the Laval team, and your former teammate Jared Davidson gets his first pro goal against you. Ty Bauer, another former T-Bird, is on the ice, and Brad Lambert, your teammate from last year, was in the penalty box for Manitoba. Talk about that kind of a surreal moment, and was there conversation after that game with Davey about him scoring on you?
Yeah, like I said, that's kind of that whole full circle experience. Wherever I seem to end up playing, I always know guys. So, actually during that game, I had no clue that Davey scored that goal. I didn't know it was him, and I not until after the game I was doing an interview, and they had mentioned a former teammate had his first one against me, so I knew right away. Of course it happened. But no, I'm happy for him. He's obviously doing quite well there, and obviously getting a first pro goal is a pretty special thing. So, bittersweet feeling. Happy for him, but of course it had to be all of us on the ice as well. So.
Yeah, and speaking of happy for, I'm sure you're also happy for your former teammate Scott Ratzlaff, who's going to follow your footsteps to play with Team Canada at the World Juniors here coming up after Christmas. He's one of the 3 goaltenders. He gets there as an 18, so he's also got a chance next year to be there again. But just a nice way to keep your eye on World Juniors after getting a gold medal, to see your teammate now getting that opportunity.
Oh man, I'm so fired up for him. He deserves that more than anyone. And I was actually talking with him on FaceTime not too long ago, and he was texting him as well, and he was talking about, how my effect on him there and how he wanted to sort of follow in my footsteps per se. But, I think with Ratzy, he's such a special goaltender and such a great guy as well that, he's not following my path at all. He's creating his own path here. So, I'm super happy for him. I know he's going to have, a great time over there and have great success. So, couldn't be more happy for him.
Well, Thomas, again, we wanted to give the fans some closure as you embark on your professional career. Such a huge part as the MVP of the championship team last year through that playoff run, hoisting the Ed Chenault Cup. A memory, the unfortunate part for you and so many of your teammates, you're not here to see the banner get raised, but obviously when you come, back through the area, you get to see that hanging up there in the north end of the arena, and you're a big part of that. We appreciate your time. Good luck going forward, not only this season with the Norfolk, and I'm sure call-ups with Winnipeg, but in your, I should say, with Manitoba, hopefully to Winnipeg at some point with the Jets. But all the best for you in your pro career. Just enjoyed your time here as a T-Bird.
Oh, thank you very much, Tom. You can even see right now I've still got my shirt on from last year. So, just so much pride playing in Seattle, and I can't wait to get back there someday and just see how the fans are, and just so prideful and proud to have played there and spent so many great memories there.
Well, again, thanks for your time, and have a happy holiday season, and have a good rest of the season, and again, a terrific pro career.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. You as well.